Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hello. Hi. Oh, I have to go live on. Insta. Good morning. Actually, good afternoon. I have to start getting used to saying good afternoon because it's the afternoon. We have a good conversation. We've got a good conversation going on over here today. When you jump on, please say hello. You guys, I wanted to put this on. Is this cute? How cute is this morning? There we go. Now I'm ready. Okay, let me just set up my Instagram. When you jump on, please say hello in the comments. Good morning. Good afternoon, Chris Foster. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Pauline. Okay, one sec here. You guys, we're going to talk about love today. Who wants to talk about love? I do. Getting a God's guy. That is our topic for Uncommon Ministry today. Okay, we're going to go live. Here we go. Hey. Thank you for joining, everybody. Where are you coming in from? Where are you coming in from? It is 1 million degrees where I am. So I'm actually already sweating. It's crazy. This is not the normal kind of weather for these parts. Hi, everybody. I love you. We've moved our calls from 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard, right? So we've changed the time of the calls to accommodate my team, to accommodate the world, so that I can have my mornings, because you guys, mornings are really, really busy over here. Mornings are busy. It's a whole situation. So I thought we would move the calls and see how we do, because then you get to come in on your lunch break. You get to come in and throw the earplugs in on your lunch or when you're at the gym and dive in with me, which is so exciting. It's incredible. So we've changed the time. It's a little bit of an experiment, but so far it seems to be going well, because I feel that 12 p.m. Eastern Standard works for a lot of people. I know that a lot of people go on to prayer calls in the morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard, and to do back-to-back calls is a lot, right? And so we're just going to come in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jim Costello 873. Good morning, Johnny Country. Who else is on? Good morning, Angelique. I love you, sis. How you doing? I've been enjoying all of your fun posts. I'm enjoying all of it. Good morning, Seth. Chris Foster. How are you doing, brother? How are you doing? Good morning, Sarah. All right, let me make you a mod. Add as moderator. Good morning, good morning. I like this time because it helps me get my prayers and meditation in and get together and ready for your prayer call, Romy. Oh, I love that so much. That makes me so happy. Good morning, Amy. I love you, sis. We are going to talk about love. We're going to talk about love today. When I was at the conference this past weekend, so many people asked me about my new love, about my new relationship. And I thought, maybe I need to come on and talk about love. Maybe I need to come in and talk about getting good God's love from a good God guy, because it's different. It takes a different kind of dating to do this. It really does. You got to do things differently. And so if you have a girlfriend who you think would be interested in hearing this call, because I'm going to talk about how I got my good God's guy. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to share some of my experiences. I'm just going to share, and hopefully you guys will, I always like to pour tons of value into these calls. I hope that you're able to walk away with something that will serve you and will help you move forward in your dating world. If you're a single, or maybe even if you're somebody who's in a relationship and you want to enrich that relationship by having more of a faith-based conversation. I think that that will also be beneficial for you here. So what I think would be awesome is to tag somebody in the comments who you think, not just anybody, but tag somebody in the comments who you think would really benefit from a conversation about getting a God's guy or getting good God love, bringing God into the conversation, because it's not always easy, especially if it's something that you haven't done before in relationship, which was me. Can you believe that? Good morning, Ms. Erica Malloy. I just think it's really powerful to have these conversations, because the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter if you're married, if you're single, if you're you want to, what do we got? We got married, we got single, we got dating, right? I'm trying to think of all the different ways. Or you could be somebody who's given up. You could be somebody who's given up. You're like, I'm done. I'm done dating. I'm done looking to date because I'm not having any luck at all. It doesn't seem to be working, so I'm out of here. Don't exit. Don't exit the building. You're just not dating the right guys if you're a woman. Maybe you're just not dating the right guys. And if you're a man, then maybe you need to look at how you date differently as well. Because at the end of it all, it comes down to the same kind of thing, which is we need to be really aligned, and we need to make sure that what we're calling in is what we want. Because remember, you are who you attract. So I have a candle, even though it's 1 million degrees today, I am gonna light my candle, but I'm not drinking coffee, I'm drinking water. Because I've already had 2 cups of coffee and I'm dying over here. You know what I'm saying? But you guys, I'm gonna tell you something. So when I light the candle, we're into the word. All right, but here's what I'm gonna tell you. I gave a woman at the conference. So I was at PK's conference. And by the way, put a heart in the comments. Just put a heart. No, put an arrow. Put one of those arrows in the comments if you're at PK's conference. Because if you put an arrow in the conference, then you know what I'm talking about. One of the women at PK's conference, I had given her coffee in January to try my Crush Coffee. So I have a company called Crush Coffee Co. And I gave her some coffee to try, because she said that her coffee gives her hot flashes. She's going through menopause, and she said, I can't drink coffee. I get really, really hot, and I get anxious, and it makes the hot flashes come on stronger. And I said to her, sister, try my coffee and let me know. Just let me know if it works for you or not, because I recently went through menopause. So I'm post-menopause, I believe, at this point. I've kind of gone through all the symptoms. And yes, we talk about these things on our calls. So if you don't like it, don't stay. But this is a real thing for women. And I'm tired of women feeling shameful. I'm tired of women feeling like they can't talk about menopause and what's going on with their bodies and their minds during these days. So I gave her Crush Coffee to try. And I saw her at the concert. Okay, that's a whole other thing. I keep calling the conference a concert because it reminds me of a concert. It really does. So I gave her coffee to try, and I saw her, and I'm trying to remember who it was. Can't remember who it was. And she saw me at the conference, and she said, I have to talk to you about your coffee. I tried it, and it didn't give me hot flashes. I didn't feel anxious. It didn't give me any of the symptoms that I feel when I drink coffee. And she said, I need some of that coffee in my life. I need Crush Coffee in my life. So we are in this moment, beginning right now, working on getting Crush Coffee into the US for 2026. I'm not even kidding. Okay? By the end of 2026, I'm hoping that we have Crush Coffee in the US of A. Okay? But for sure in 2027. Like, that's not even a question. But I'm wanting to get it in for 2026. I'm hoping to have it available for people at the conference in January in Atlanta. So, all of that being said, coffee It's just too, it's been really hot here and I can't drink it right now. Like I've had 2 cups of coffee today and I'm done because it's about 90 degrees here. It doesn't normally get this hot where I am, but it's hot today. All right, so put a heart in the comments if you want to talk about love. If you want to jump on the love bus with me for the next, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. We're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about calling in good God love, the kind that makes your toes curl, the kind that is aligned with who you are, the kind that speaks into your heart, the kind that allows you to be who you are as a woman or a man of God in that relationship. One that you can refer back to God, one that maybe you can pray in, one that you can study the Bible in, one that you can just know is safe, solid, and secure. So put a heart in the comments if you are love curious and if you are in on this conversation with me, because I want to share with you what I've learned so far. Now, I want to tell you something right now. I'm not coming in as a love aficionado. I'm just coming in as somebody who's had some experience in my lifetime with relationships, with love. I've had good love and I've had bad love. Bad love meaning it's love that wasn't aligned. And this time when I went in with intention. I went in knowing what I want and knowing what I don't want. And that is lesson number 1. So while you are getting out your journals, because everybody should have a journal, everybody should have a pen. I'm going to light my candle. Whoops. I'm going to light my candle, which means that we're starting. Now, notice that I'm not at the cafe today because I'm still home cleaning up and getting organized from my trip. So that's why I'm here. By the way, if you want a beautiful crushed coffee mug, I believe you can buy them on my Linktree. Aren't they gorgeous? They're 16-ounce mugs and they're ceramic and they're beautiful. Now I've got water in mine right now because it's too hot, but these babies hold the best cup of coffee out there. So let me tell you a little bit about my love journey. I have never been married and I have no children. And so that's my story. I'm 57. Live in Canada. I'm just filling you guys in on it because there might be people who come into this conversation who really don't know me. So I love love. I love children and I love the idea of marriage. I really do. But I've never in my lifetime felt comfortable saying I do to anybody. And I have been in a lot of relationship. I have had good love, really, really good love. And I've had one love that wasn't so good. And that's the one that I talk to you guys about all the time when I say that I was in a relationship that was toxic. It was that relationship. And I know that I don't look great. I'm having some kind of a reaction. So by the way, we have big forest fires around us and there is smoke in the air and it is so bad that my eyes are itchy and like they're really red. So just so you know, if you're looking at my eyes going, man, she looks rough today, it's because we have so much smoke in the air that we actually have to have our windows closed. There's been big forest fires all around us. So I have had really good love and I've had one relationship that was really toxic, but I didn't know that it was going to be toxic. I didn't go into it thinking that it was toxic. I didn't make the choice. So if you've been in a relationship that was toxic, forgive yourself. If you have been in a relationship that went sideways, if you've been in a relationship that was just broke your heart, if you've been in a relationship that you had a hard time getting out of and you knew that it was not a healthy relationship, I just want to say give yourself grace because we all make mistakes. And the reality is when we get in some of these relationships, just because the relationship is bad, just because it's toxic, just because it's not healthy, does not mean that it's all bad. And sometimes we love the socks off those people and it's still an unhealthy relationship. And that's a true story. So give yourself some grace. I want you to clear the air of any shame. I want you to clear the air of any, I've screwed up before. I'm always going to screw up. I'm never going to be able to get this right. You guys, listen, you're not the only ones. Most people just don't talk about that. Most people don't talk about the fact that they've had more failed relationships than successful ones. Most people don't talk about the fact that the relationships that they've been in, they might have looked really good from the outside, but when those people just suddenly got divorced and you were like, what? It's because just like everybody else, they're struggling. So I don't want you to carry any shame or fear or anxiety or defeat into this conversation. So good morning, Daniel. So can you just let that go? Can you just open your heart? My best friend said to me about a year ago, I'm never dating again. I just want to be single. I don't want to date anybody. I'm not interested in being in any relationships. She was truly had given up. She had her heart broken. A guy broke up with her via text message. This is she was 56. She's now 57. She was 56 years old at the time. She'd had a big glow up, lost a ton of weight, got really healthy and fit after leaving divorce and all kinds of situations. And she was dating again and she fell in love with the guy. And I'm talking, she fell hard. And he said all the right things and he did all the right things. This was last year. And she was certain that this was it. She said, I have never felt like this in my life. And this is a woman who'd been married and had had lots of boyfriends in her past, right? Well, does this Mr. Perfect not just send her a text message like 2 days before they're supposed to go on this big luxury trip together and say, it's over, don't try contacting me. I'm not even kidding. That's what he did. Hi, watching from Trinidad. My name is Jenny. Hi, Jenny. Welcome to Uncommon Ministry. I'm so glad that you're here. Make sure that you share this conversation out. And by the way, we're talking about love today. We're talking about getting a good God's guy or girl. And so if you know somebody who needs this conversation, tag them in the comments. So she got broken up. That was you twice. What? That's insane. Come on. Come on, Ash. I can't, Trini, wait, Sarah says, I can't wait. We need to have a coffee date when it gets here. A Zoom date if need be. Absolutely. I was left at the airport in line and had that happen too. What? Come on. That should never happen. This should never happen. Never. Right? So this guy breaks up with her via text message and it took her out. Her brother was dying of cancer. She'd had all kinds of stuff go down and she put all of her faith in this relationship after telling me she was never going to date again. And she dates this guy and he breaks her heart over text message. And then she finds out that he ends up having an affair with his proctologist. Like, it's a whole situation. If you know what a proctologist is, it's the person who puts their finger up your butt, I think. And he got in an accident, was in the hospital, and then this girl who was his nurse, who was his proctologist or something, who was giving him a finger up the butt for a career, he ended up falling in love with her. And I said, you know what? You can have her, right? So anyway, my girlfriend's heart was absolutely broken by this guy. And she said, that's it. I'm never, ever dating again. That's it. It's over. Like, I am done. And I kind of didn't blame her, but I said, no, sis, don't close your heart. Don't close your heart because somebody better is coming. He was just a piece of junk. He was just not worth it. But you learned a lesson. We always learn a lesson that we need. When things happen to us, we have to understand that it's an opportunity for us to grow. So of course, now she's able to look back and say, I needed that to happen because I needed somebody else. I needed to get clearer about what I want in love. I need to get clearer about what I want in a relationship. I need to get clearer about all of the things that I'm looking for in a man. So we had a lot of really good conversations. And for sure, one of them was, you pick up on the red flags and the things that are a little bit left of center early. And upon reflection, this guy had a lot of girlfriends. He said to her, When I met you, I had to delete all of the girls from my phone that I'd been talking to. What does that tell you? He said to her, when I met you, I had to let everybody else know who I was dating, that I was taken. Everybody else? Like, how many women was this guy dating at the same time? Right? And so that's the first sign. So about 4 months ago, she went online and she recreated her profile. And she changed up the guy that she was calling in. And now she has a great guy. She's got a good love. And what he said to her is, I want to be a different kind of man in this relationship. All of the relationships that I've had in the past that didn't work, I don't want to make those mistakes again. And so he's changing the way he does relationship with her. And it's so good to watch her in love with a guy who's a good guy, a guy who wants to change. And I'm telling you this story because I never really closed my heart to love, but she did. And I wanted to share a story with you that was a good story about somebody who at first thought that they would never love again and then gave it one more shot and called in a really good guy. Now, we don't know the end of the story because it's too early. But what I do know is that she has found faith again in love. So if you're one of those people who's given up on love, I want to encourage you, don't give up. Just change the way that you do it. Change the people that you call in and then see how it goes. So I'm going to tell you my love story if I can. Put a 1 in the comments if you want to hear my love story. When I was in Atlanta, I must have had 100 people ask me about my love story. And I thought maybe, just maybe, this is something that I can talk about. Maybe, just maybe, this is something that I can share with the women and men in my community. Because don't we all want to be paired up with the right person? I have so many people say to me, I don't need love. I don't need anybody. I'm happy to be single forever. But I always come back and say, I understand that you might feel that way. But what if it was the right person? What if it was the person who loved your socks off? What if the perfect man or woman came into your life and said, baby, I'm here to make your life better. I'm here to compliment you. I'm here to grow you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to love you. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to feed you. I'm here to give you space when you want space and be beside you when you need somebody to lean on. I think you're beautiful. Everything that you say is funny. Everything that you do is epic. What if that person came into your life? How would you feel? Thank you for the follow. How would you feel about that person? Because it's easy. Hi, Monica. Hi, Dana. I love you guys. If that person, right, Ethel? If that person came into your life, would you still want to be single? If that person came into your life, would you still say, I don't need anybody? See, we say things because we are hurt. We say things because we're protecting our hearts. So we say these things like, I'm never going to love again. I don't need anybody. I don't need anything. There's nobody out there who can handle me. There's nobody out there who can carry me. There's nobody out there who can love right. I don't need love. I got me. Oh, really? What are you going to do when you're 75 or 80 and your family's either gone and your grandchildren are off doing their thing and you're all by yourself? I think about my mom. My mom was diagnosed with multiple myeloma when she was 81. If my dad wasn't there to walk with her side by side every single step of the way, she would have died real fast. You guys, love feeds our souls. Love feeds us. Love sustains us. Love nurtures us. Love gives us a reason. Write this down. Love gives me a reason to live. So I'm going to tell you right now, that love that they had, it's the reason that my mom survived so long. My mom went into remission and we had her for 2 more years. You know why? Because she had reason. When they said, we can give you something that will keep you around longer, she said, bring it on. Because I got people to love. I got a family that needs me. We don't think about the future all the time. We just think about where we are now. And we get all up in our emotions, and we let that determine our decisions. Don't let your pain make some of the biggest decisions that you'll ever make, baby. Don't let your pain be the boss of your heart. Get out of your emotions long enough to see that our emotions are temporary. But love is an emotion, you guys. Love is not an emotion. Love is a whole thing. It's action. It's life. It's sustainability. It's a living thing. We might say I'm in love with somebody and that's the emotion, but love, capital L, it's not an emotion. And so don't you dare go and make a bad decision about your future in 20, 30 years because some loser fell in love with a girl who sticks his finger up your butt. You know what I'm saying? His butt, not your butt. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the beginning. I'm so glad that my bestie didn't give up on her love because of some guy who wants to date the girl who sticks her finger up his butt for a living. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if that was the end of her love story? She wouldn't be where she is now. Come on, everybody. So here's what I want you to think about. Number 1, what are the characters? Write these down. This is the love lesson. If you're looking for a good God's guy, if you're looking for somebody to walk your life with, if you're looking for somebody who's going to make your toes curl when they look at you, if you're looking for somebody who's going to be there with you through all of it, when you're too much, when you don't feel like you're enough, when you have got stinky morning breath, when your hair's a mess, when you're falling apart at the seams, when you have no money in your bank, when you're building a business, when you're falling forward, when you're rising, when you want to throw your hands up and praise God. If you want somebody who's like that, the first thing you got to do is make a list of everything that you want in a relationship. But even more specifically, everything you want in a person. So, number 1, what do I want in a man and or woman? Okay, so this is when you get out your journal and you get a pen and you say, what do I want in a man? I'm talking to my sisters right now. What do I want in a man? Yeah, red flags is right. And then get so specific that you feel like it's a lot. So when I was getting ready to date again, I made a decision that I was never going to date anybody ever again who wasn't a God's guy. So the first thing on my list, the very first thing that was different was I want a man of God. I put that right on, like that was the top of my list. That was number 1. It wasn't kind. It wasn't handsome. It wasn't sweet. It wasn't tall. It wasn't good looking. It wasn't wealthy. None of that. The first thing I put on my list was I want a man of God. So if you are a single, or if you are somebody who's in a relationship and you're wanting more and you want somebody who aligns with your values, with your faith, that needs to be number 1, because we know that after that, nothing else matters. If he's a man of God, it's going to make a lot of the other things fall into place instantly. Yes, yes. So if you're wanting somebody who's kind, then a man of God should be kind. And if he's not kind, then he's probably got a lot of work to do. He's got to get his heart right. If you're wanting somebody who's compassionate, if you're wanting somebody who's a man of service, if you're wanting somebody who prays, if you're wanting somebody who goes into his faith when he's afraid, then that's a man of God. So number one thing should be a man of God. If you are looking for a man of God, because we're talking about getting a good God guy as a partner, then the number one thing on your list should be he's a man of God. So when I created my profile on Facebook Dating, by the way, which is where I met my boyfriend. Okay, I met him on Facebook Dating. Facebook Dating was free. Hey, Shay. Miss you, sissy. Then number one, God's guy. So in my profile, in my dating profile, I let them know that I was looking for a man of God, because then everybody else isn't going to come in. They're not going to have anything to say to me, because I'm going to be able to look at their profile and know right away. And in my profile, I also said, I am a woman of God. I have a ministry. I believe in God. I love my dog. I love God. I love my family. I love my ministry. My faith is important to me. It's like you guys, my bio was about my heart. I don't need to say that I'm fit and healthy, because the pictures that I put on my bio were me. So they could see that I was fit and healthy. And I've had men in my life who were fit and healthy and who weren't men of God, and those relationships didn't work. Christine says, what if they are a God's guy, but their past is a mess? How's your past? Not good job history, has a mess with his taxes and finances. Are they a God's guy or girl? How's your taxes and finances? How is your history? That's what I would say. And, you know, if he's a God's guy, then he's working on those things. If he's a God, that's a great question. But I always want to come back and say, is your past a mess? My past is pretty messy. You know what? I don't know anybody who's an adult whose past isn't messy. What would God say? What would Jesus say? If somebody came up to him, okay, yours is good. Okay, that's great. Maybe you could be a positive influence on him, Christine. But what about your past? Do you have a messy past? Like, you guys, we can't judge people. See, we're getting judgy up in here, and I think this is a good question, but I just want to bring this forward. Who here has got a clean past? You've never made a mistake. You've never had relationship issues. Maybe this guy's gone to jail. Maybe this guy was in the sex industry. Maybe, who knows? Who cares? One of the things I love about Jesus is that Jesus doesn't talk to people about their past. He talks about who they're going to be moving forward. Think about the woman at the well. She had a messy past, and she said, what did she say? Oh no, sorry. What I want to tell you is what he said to her. So, of course, we know that the woman at the well was living with a man, and she'd lived with many men. She'd had many divorces. She'd had many relationships. And Jesus said, oh, I know who you are. I know all about you. Of course, I'm, translating it into present language. And he said, go and sin no more. He's more worried about who she is moving forward. So if he's a God's guy, Christine, and this is a great question, but if he's a God's guy now, I'm guessing that he's working on healing his past. I'm guessing that he's working on healing his finances. I'm guessing that he's working on healing his taxes. And if he's not, then maybe that's how you can influence him. But we got to be careful that we don't go out and judge people in the very things that we've done. Cannot judge due to the past. Love finds a way, especially with God's help and guidance. Amen, Sandra. Hi, sissy. I love you. So that's probably what I would, that's my answer, is that look into their hearts. Who are they today? Who am I today? Who are you today? Who is he today? Man, I got a messy past. I've had all kinds of stuff go down in my life. I've been in relationships that didn't work. I've lied to people. my taxes have been messy. My money's been funky. I've been confused about people. I cheated on somebody years ago. Like, I've done all of it. I'm not perfect, but I make sure of things like that. I've tried and offered tons of help. Well, then maybe, here's the thing. Only you know if he's the right guy or not. I can't tell you. Your intuition will tell you. Your intuition speaks so loudly, but I really don't ever want anybody to, I got to plug in here. I don't ever want anybody to look at somebody's past and determine their future. You can watch, you can support. If nothing changes, then move on. You have to have a growth mindset. We're looking for people who are constantly growing. People who are people of God are constantly in growth patterns. They're always looking at areas of their lives that need help. And if you're staying stagnant, if you're swirling in the pool of junk, then you're not growing. But if he's growing, if he's making moves, give him a chance. It's about his heart. You haven't said anything about his heart. How's his heart, Christina? So the first thing I did, so go back to number one. So the first thing I did was I got really clear about what I wanted in a relationship. Okay, that was number one. Number two, this is the big one. Make sure that you're ready to carry what you're asking for. Make sure that you're ready to carry what you're asking for. So you've been with him for 5 years? If you've been with him for 5 years and things are still messy, you need to check on that. I'm not really sure what to say about that. I probably, put it this way, if I felt like somebody wasn't growing, if they were pulling me down with them, and if my intuition said, you want it for them more than they want it for themselves, I'd be gone. But I would be out of there fast. Like, it's like hire slow, fire fast, right? It's that same idea. It's like hire slow, fire fast. You go into relationships with your eyes wide open. You take time. You pay attention. You make sure you get to know them. I went and saw my partner where he lived. I met one of his kids. Like, I did my research. I brought him home here to Thunder Bay where I am, and I introduced him to my dad. Like, it feels like it moved quickly because we're long distance, but I did my research. And I made sure that his life was a good fit for my life. I moved slowly. I wasn't going to commit to this guy until I knew about his life. And then once I knew about his life, I said, let's go. But if anything in me said, get out, I'd be gone like that. It would be so fast because I hire slow and I fire fast. In my business, in my ministry, in my relationships, in my life. It's the same concept. So if you're waiting, if you're in year 5 and you're waiting, and this is for everybody, if you've been with somebody a long time and nothing's changing, get out. Because why are you wasting your time? What you don't want is to be on your deathbed and somebody never changed and you wanted it for them more than they wanted it. And here you are now, life is over and you're saying, I wish I'd gotten out. So many women are afraid to leave crappy relationships because they're afraid of being single. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're single, it gives you an opportunity to attract the right person. They are living very stagnant. Amen, sissy. But if you get out of something that's unhealthy, it gives you the opportunity to write what you need to write, heal what you need to heal, and call in the right relationship for you. So number 1, I got really clear about what I wanted in a man. And then number 2, in a God's guy. And then number 2, I made sure that I was ready to carry it. Because what I didn't want to do was call in the perfect guy, this great guy, and I couldn't carry it. What does that mean? It means my wounds show up and I bleed all over him. It means that when somebody calls me and checks me, because maybe I'm getting a little snappy or a little spicy, which I can, I can't handle it and I snap back. It means that I don't allow him to be human. It means that I want to be in control. It means that everything he does should be for me. It means that I'm critical of him, but I'm not looking in my own heart to check how I'm doing in the same areas that I'm criticizing him in. That's what I mean by be ready to carry the relationship that you're asking for. So if you're asking for a God's guy, if you're asking for the incredible human, if you're calling in somebody who's high standard, baby, you better be high standard, because he's looking for high standard too. And if you're not high standard, he's going to see you, he's going to get close, and he's going to say, you're not who you said you were, baby. And you know what? Men have an intuition. People don't give men enough credit. Men have intuition too. Don't think that you can pull a wool over his eyes. Don't think that you can go in and say, I want a guy who's rich. I want a guy who's got a clean heart. I want a guy who's got a clean past. I want a guy who's perfect in every way. And then he gets close to you and then he realizes that you're none of that. Be careful. Be careful. Make your heart right. Get ready. Widen your shoulders. Get into your Bible. Clean up your past. Take names out of your phone. Take the pictures, you know who you are. Take the pictures out of your phone. Get rid of the ex who treated you like junk. Because men can feel the energy. You guys, I had to do this. I can speak on it and it triggers people. They don't like it when I say this, but listen. I had to get rid of everything from my past to make this relationship work. I had to delete pictures. I had to go into, you guys, this is what I did. I'm going to tell you. I have a big chest in my living room that's got pictures and memorabilia all the way from when I was a little girl up until last year. And in that chest were frames with pictures of me with men that I loved. And I went in and I did it with my bestie. I had her on FaceTime with me and I was crying. I was crying and I said to her, I got to take all these pictures out of the frames and burn them. And I took all of these pictures, even going way back, out of the frames, and I took them to my dad's and I burned every single one. And guess what? My life didn't change. I'm fine. Do I still delete? Oh, right, baby. What if you have a child with the man that abused you? Then you love the socks off that child and you only have contact with that man as much as you have to, and that is it. I have a concept called untie the knot. We don't cut the cord up in here. We untie the knot. Why? Because cutting the cord is violent. It's making a statement. Untying the knot is saying, I love you because God loves you and because that's my job, but I'm just going to gently let you go. And come on, I'm going to ask you a question. Which one feels more powerful? This one or this one? There's nothing more powerful than love, you guys. You love somebody so much that they can't even handle it. Love somebody so much that you don't cut the cord. That you say, I'm not cutting the cord with you, baby. I'm just untying the knot. I'll be over here and you'll be over there. You guys, get out of your emotions. When you're in your emotions, you're powerless. Think about it. When you are raging, when you are angry, when you're anxious, when you're crazy, do you make good decisions? Do you have control over your thoughts? Do you have control over your mind? Do you have control over your life? We've all been with a narcissist. I would say most women that I know who've had plenty of relationships, especially abusive ones, I would say that all abusers are narcissists. I would just put that right out there. Because in order to abuse somebody, in order to be a repetitive abuser, there has to be a part of you that thinks that everybody else is garbage, that doesn't respect anybody, that isn't empathetic. And these are all characteristics of a narcissist. But also be careful that you don't use a narcissist just because somebody doesn't love you, okay? I hate when people say, oh, he's a narcissist and she's a narcissist just because they didn't love you anymore. Like, come on, right? Go look up what a narcissist is. Go look up narcissistic behavior. It's actually mental illness, okay? And people can actually undo narcissism. They can heal from it. But you don't have to stay for that. And that's not your job to try to take him to the therapist and figure it out. But there is, because a lot of people who are in addiction are narcissistic. Think about it. When you're in it, for those of you who have been in addiction, were you abusive? Were you lacking empathy? Were you self-centered? Did you hurt people in your own, for your greater good? Like, if you have been in addiction, there's a really good chance that you had narcissistic tendencies. And so we want to throw all these names out there and we want to judge people, but wait a minute. And this is why I said earlier, be careful when we look at people's past that we're not saying they've got a messy past or that person's terrible because they're past, because what about yours? Right? Come on. We're here to heal. We're here to love. So, I mean, I think of when I was in that relationship that was toxic, I started becoming the toxic person. And I talked to you guys a few weeks ago about the fact that he was an abuser. He was an emotionally abusive man. He never laid a hand on me, but he was emotionally abusive. I became physically abusive. I used to throw stuff at him. So I'm not perfect, but I don't do that anymore. I don't throw anything at anybody. But I went through a period in my life, a season in my life where I wasn't a good person. So that's why I always want to say, like, let's make sure that we're not judging people. Let's make sure that we're not throwing the first stone, right? Okay, so like we're going to have 3 things. So number 1, this will change your life. Number 1, get really clear about everything that you want in that man. Write it down in detail. But the number 1 thing should be, I want a God's guy. And what does that mean? Which is number 3, is that it's a non-negotiable. Okay, so number 1, just remember, I already gave number 3 away. Number 1 is write down everything you want in that love. And the first thing should be a man of God. Then number 2 is that you have to get ready for that person. Meaning that you need to, as you're writing your list, be preparing yourself for when he comes in. Because when he comes in and he shows up, baby, you better be able to hold that relationship. You better be able to bite your tongue. You better be able to say, maybe, just maybe, I got some work to do. Maybe, just maybe, I'm imperfect. Maybe, just maybe, he's looking for a God's girl. And when he meets me, I want him to see that person. Come on, everybody. When he sees you, do you not want him to say, she's a God's girl? So I want you to step back right now and reflect on your life. Is that what people see about you? If they were to look at your phone, if you were to give him your phone, I could give my partner my phone. No problem. Take my phone, baby. If you were, and I'm not saying that people should be checking in on people, but I've got nothing to hide. I did the work. If you can't give somebody your phone because you're afraid of what they might see, you're not done yet. A true story. Would you want them to be able to give you their phone and say, take a look? Because of course what they're doing is they would be looking for messages to and from your exes, pictures that you've kept, things that you do on your phone that are or aren't in alignment with what you say or who you say you are. I'm not saying give somebody your phone, but what I'm saying is if they wanted to see your phone, what would your response be? Check yourself, baby. Don't be going and asking people to do things that you're not ready to do. And I know that this is a smackdown, but you need to hear it. And then number 3 is make it non-negotiable. What does that mean? You're not going to go for anything less. You're not going to settle. You're going to have conversations with people on the first date about what you want and who you are. This is a powerful conversation. I know everybody's saying they need to hear this. Even the women here who are married are saying I needed to hear this, because we do this with our partners too. We do this in relationship. We ask our partners to be somebody that we're not. We ask our partners to be pure of heart and mind. We ask our partners to not message other people, to delete the pictures off their phone. How are you doing in that? Where's your heart? How are you doing on that journey? I'm going to tell you something. If you aren't doing it, he's going to know. He's going to know. And then when he says, I think that you still have pictures of your ex on your phone, you're going to say, no, I don't. And you're going to lie. And he's going to say, yeah, you do. Nothing's going to change if you don't change. It's not as hard as you think it is. People think it's going to be hard to delete the pictures off the phone. People think it's hard to stop messaging the guy. People think it's hard to have conversations about God. It's only hard if you make it hard. If you say it's hard, it's going to be hard. If you make it easy, it's going to be easy. So I put my bio up on Facebook dating. And I put some pictures, recent pictures. I didn't try to amplify who I was. I didn't try to make myself look younger or older. I just shared who I was. And this beautiful man dropped into my messages. And he didn't say, hey, sexy. I don't answer those messages. He didn't say, hey, baby. I don't answer those messages. He actually came in kind of boring, to be honest with you. He came in and he said, hi, Romy. My name is... I don't say his name on here because I like to keep it private. Some people know his name, but not everybody. I don't need to shout it out to the socials. And he said, I like your picture of you in the boat. Where was that taken? That looks really beautiful. I'm a water guy too. It was like a boring message. But I looked at his profile, and guess what? He's a good man. He believes in God. He was Christian. It was on his profile. So right there, I stayed and I kept looking. He had pictures of him with his dogs. He had some pictures of him with his grandkids, faces away from the camera. He's 61. He's living a good life. He likes to be on the water. You guys, he's 6'4". Now, one of the things I put on my list was tall, but it wasn't at the top of the list. God's guy. Safe, solid, and secure. Those who have been on my calls know I have 3 things I want in a man. Safe, solid, and secure. He had to be safe. He has to make me feel safe in his presence. He has to be solid, meaning that he's not flighty and like couch surfing. He has to have his poop in a group. And secure means that his life is secure. He's got a career. He's got friends, right? He's not living on food stamps right now. Like, he's secure in every way. He doesn't have to be a multimillionaire. That's not what I'm looking for. And I actually don't know everything about his past because some things I don't think it's my business yet. But I see how he lives now. Can we get rid of that guy, Ken, the boomer guy? We love how he is now. Yeah, we do. And he's had some past with relationships that have been hard on him. But baby, he bent, but he did not break. He's a palm tree. I just thought of that. He's my palm tree. And you know one of the things that he said to me that just melted my heart? He said, I want to be your safe landing place. He said, I know you do a lot. I know you do a lot for other people. And I know that you love your people. And I'm an entrepreneur. He's not. He used to be, but he's not anymore. He's just a year from retirement. He said, I want to be your safe landing place. I want to be the person that you can lean into. You guys, these are the things that I'm looking for. I'm looking for this. So check somebody's heart, because their heart matters most. His heart is a good heart. So those were the three things that those are the three things that I did. I might follow up with this tomorrow, but number one, I made a list of everything I want in a man. And the first one, the very first thing, was he had to be a man of God. And if you're looking for a God's guy, that should be number one on your list. And then I wrote everything else under that. Number two, I had to make sure that I was the woman who could carry the guy that I was calling in. Because, like I said, go back and watch the replay. If my life is messy behind closed doors, if my phone is full of exes, if I'm gossiping, if I'm still texting other people, or if I'm having inappropriate relationships with other people, I can't carry a good guy like that. I have to be the person that I'm calling in, and I have to be her long enough that it's believable, that it's real. And I've been working on me for several years. So when he came in, he feels safe, solid, and secure in our relationship. I've said to him many times, baby, I'm not going anywhere. Once I'm in, I'm in. You can look at my phone. You can do whatever you want. I got nothing to hide. What you see is my love for you. What you see is me. And then number three is make it non-negotiable. Meaning that you don't go small. You don't settle. You listen to your intuition. You know in your heart if it's the right guy or not. And you move on that. But if you're always negotiating with God, you're never going to get what you deserve. If you're negotiating with your joy, you're never going to be joyful. If you're negotiating with security and loyalty and safety, you're never going to have it. And if your marriage has had this kind of stuff in the past, go get help with your marriage, because these are patterns that show up. You have to be able to go through hell together and still say, here's my phone. You have to be able to go through the fire and know that just because we're in the fire does not mean that anybody's leaving. Safe, solid, and secure is most necessary when you feel the least secure, when you feel the least safe, when you feel the least solid. See, safe, solid, and secure is easy when everything is good, when you're in a love bubble. But what's going to happen when you guys are going through the fire? When you're going through the fire, that's when safe, solid, and secure matters. When you're going through day-to-day hard stuff, when things get challenging, that's when safe, solid, and secure makes a difference. It's got to be non-negotiable, you guys. So if you're looking for love that's good, God love, put everything that you have into finding it. Don't settle. Don't push your edges just because somebody is this or a little bit of that. Because I promise you, the kind of love that lights up your heart, a good God love, all of the other stuff, you won't even miss it. You think that you're going to miss it because you haven't had the good God love yet. You won't even miss it. Every once in a while, I went and visited my guy just before I went to Atlanta. And every once in a while, I'd look at him and I would just say, man, I love you. He's not perfect, and neither am I. I'm not asking him to be perfect. I'm asking him to be safe, solid, and secure for me. I'm asking him to love God. I'm asking him to be the guy that I want in my life. Now, guys, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know where it's going to go. It's too early. I'm not even calling him my king with the ring. So many people are like, how's your king with the ring? I'm like, guess what? I don't call him that, because I am 57 and I too have been in relationships with some good men. And it didn't end up being forever. We don't have to start going there. I don't have anything to prove, but I am going to tell you something. He's the kind of guy that I want for the rest of my life. And I don't know if it's him or not. And I don't think he does either. And I don't get offended by that. We got to stop being so offended if somebody's not sure. Just be present. Walk the path. I've only spent like a total of 8 days with him. Like, why would I say something like that? You got to know somebody. Hire slow, fire fast. Write that down. Hire, this one's about to die. No, don't. Oh, crap. I think my Facebook just died. I've been putting my charger back and forth because my phone's, I think Facebook just died. Anyway. Okay, so are we good? You guys got it? Are you with me? God's secure and protected passcode. Luke 15:21 says, Father, I have sinned. Write it down. Say it daily. That's a good one. Yeah, absolutely. Anything that God says is good. I can't believe that my phone died. I was trying to get the charger in and fast enough and I couldn't get it in. Okay, can somebody let my Facebook people know? Oh, maybe I'll be back. My thing just came back in. All right, so put a heart in the comments if this served you. Put a heart in the comments if you're gonna take a look at your heart. Put a heart in the comments if you're committed to getting better at doing love. Put a heart in the comments if you think that these 3 things could really serve you. Put a heart in the comments. Here we go. I'm going to back on. I'm going to see if I can go back on. Boom. Boo. Bummer. I'm just looking at my Facebook. Put a heart in the comments if you think that you can do those 3 things. It's just 3. It's just 3. But it's worth it, baby. It's worth it. Can somebody let my Facebook people know? I think it was, who was on Facebook? I can't remember. I think it was Ash? Chris. No, it was Chris. Okay? Guys, we deserve the best kind of love. We deserve all of the things that are good and right and true. And that includes a healthy marriage. Thanks, Ash. That includes healthy love. That I'm not going to go back on Facebook because I'm almost done. That includes a good man or a good woman, a good partner who's got our back, who says, baby, here's my phone, have at her. But we should never have to ask, like, I am not somebody who will ever ask my partner for their phone. And I'm not saying that you should, because I think that if we don't have trust, then that's when we ask for the phone, right? And if you think that you got to look at somebody's phone, you probably do. And if somebody thinks that they have to look at your phone, they probably do. You know what I'm saying? I'll never ask somebody for their phone. If I have to, I shouldn't be in that relationship. True story. And if you have to ask your partner for their phone, you guys need to get to counseling like yesterday. You need some help, because that's not a way to live. All right. I'm out of here. I love you. I honor you. Stay uncommon. For those of you who are looking for community, for those of you who are looking for support, for sisterhood, for more of these kinds of conversations, you guys listen, you got to get in Uncommon Woman Sisterhood. It's my private membership for women of God. And this is the kind of stuff that we dive into. Relationships and careers and money and friendship and relationships, like with other women, friendships, right? We talk about the things that women need to talk about with one another. We talk about the things that we don't want to talk about in public. We talk about the things that we don't want to share when there are men in the room. We talk about how to live lives as women of God. And we're also building deep friendships with one another, because those friendships are so important. Those friendships are vital to our health. And as women of God, we need to get in the room with other women of God and have circles of women around us that share our values. Get in the room. That's where we're going to be doing life together. Amen, amen, and amen, guys. This is where we're going. It's going to be such a beautiful next 5 months. 2026 is I've got so much planned. When we were away at conference in Atlanta, Georgia with PK, so much came to me, and I'm so excited to bring it forward. My team is incredible. Just the team itself is epic, is next level, because our team is family. Our team is family. So get in the room, go to romymarlowe.com, and as soon as you go to romymarlowe.com, there'll be a pop-up that takes you to the page. If you have any questions, DM me. If you need support in your relationship, or if you want to build the woman that you are so that you attract the guy, get into my one-on-one mentorship. This is what we do. We do life together. I walk women through their lives, their personal lives, their businesses, their health journey, all of it. We do life together. That's what it means to work alongside of me. And if you're building a business, baby, let's get her done. This is the year. Okay, guys, I love you. I honor you. Stay on common. Thank you for joining. I'll see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard. This is our new time. I love it. See you tomorrow. Bye, TikTok. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you for all the love. We got to 10K. I didn't even notice. I've been so like jibby jabby this morning. Thank you. I love you. And thank you to my Uncommon moderator team. You guys are the most incredible. Chris and Shay and Ash and Angel and Sarah. And we have I always forget people. It's so bad. I'm so hot, you guys. I can't even think straight. Angelique, I love you, my girls. I love you guys so much. We've got Chris Foster. Who else am I missing? Erica sometimes jumps on. I got all you guys. I love you. I love you. And we got Regan joining us tomorrow. I'm so excited. Our team is growing. Okay, have an incredible, incredible day, everybody. Stay true to yourself. Stay on common. Stay on common. Okay? I love you. See you inside. See you on the socials. Share, 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 share. Share, 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 share. Love you. Bye.